soon we'll get into those.
Hi Sharon, am I audible? Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
sorry.
you are.
Is my is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Today we are going to discuss about function.
Okay.
There are many types of functions in Python. For example, there are built-in functions, user-defined, and anonymous functions. Now we are going to discuss about built-in functions. We have seen many built-in functions earlier, like input, print, and learn. Mm. We have seen many built-in functions like in previous classes, like print. And if we want to take input from user, we use input like these functions. These are all Python inbuilt functions, which is user to take input from user. And we also seen about length function, which returns the length of the user, I mean, given string. In the same way, we have many Python built-in functions. If you want to know more about built-in functions, we can also search with the documentation like Python built-in functions. And here is the documentation. And from here, we will take any function. For example, I am taking max. It will explain completely. Oh, or let's take off. It will explain about, I mean, if we want to read from documentation or if we have any doubt on something, if we forget something, we can just simply come here and find it. If I want to find power, it will display how this power method works and how to return, how to use it like that. And we also have modules, built-in modules like math, for example. If I take info math. Math is a built-in module in Python, which is mostly used for advanced mathematical operations and all. We can easily perform using math. And there are also multiple methods in math, right? Like if I want to know more about functions, for example, if I want to know more about factorial, I can just click on factorial and I can use it. In the same way, and we have other functions for, I mean, we have many functions in math module. Like say, if I want to print square root of 16, I can use dot sqrt, which is used for square root. Mm. It will always display floating value. And we can also have constants in math module. For example, if we want to print pi value, so we can simply take print math dot pi. It is printing pi value. For example, if we want to see what are the constants in math module, we can see by using this documentation, and we can discuss more about, I mean, when we are using more mathematical operations, we will discuss these concepts or modules. And then let me tell you how to create user-defined module. I'm taking new file. I'm saving it as my module. In this, I'm taking value like uh, name is equal to Sharon, and I just wanted to use it in other file. Like I'm taking file as main.py, and I want to use this. I want to use this in this file, so I have to import. That means this is already user-defined module. If I import this in this, I'm importing my module. And if I want to call this data, I can simply print like my module dot name. Okay, I have saved this as my hyphen module.
So in print statement, you have to change the underscore.
So it is printing the name. And in the same way, if I make some functions in that module, for example, if I am taking anything, for example, if I take pi value, pi equal to some value, and if I want to call pi, I can also call pi like this. This call pi like this. If you want to use this multiple times, it is easy to use from other module, and that means it will be easy to understand the code if we divide it into parts and more readable. That's why we use modules. And again, I am using math module to find the area or area of circle. So I am taking import max, and I'm taking radius from user and the area will be radius power 2, I mean r square into pi, right?
Yes.
I can directly use math.py instead of writing the pi value. And I just want to print the area. I'm taking it as pi, and it is displaying the area. Uh, for example, if I don't want these many decimal values, I just need two decimal values. Then I can use round method, and I can place I need comma 2 so that it will give only two decimal values. And in the same way, if we want, we can also use power of r comma 2 in this place. This works same as r square. And and can you solve a problem? Can you find the factorial of the given number? And the hint is we have a method like factorial in math module.
Okay.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah.
Yes, you are right. Uh, In the same way, we have other module like random. I'm just importing random. In random module, I mean, this module is used to take random inputs or give random outputs from the given points. For example, if I want to print random number from 0 to 1, I can simply say random. This will print the value between 0 and 1.
Type of
RAN, yes. And in the same way, if I want to perform on particular numbers, uh, if I want to print value, random value from 10 to 20 or something, we can just use print random dot random of 10 comma 20. And if I run it, it is giving 10. And if I run it again, it will give other number. And like that, it will randomly select the number and output it.
So random will give 0 to 1, right? 0 to
Yes,
less than 1.
values between 0 and 1. Like by now it is printing 0.68 something. And I am running it again. It is printing 0.26. This will print from 0 to 1. I mean, values between 0 and 1. And the rand in we can use according to our requirement. For example, if I am taking an example of rolling a dice, I am taking random dot random. I need the numbers in 1 to 6. I mean, this will include 10 and 20, as well as here it will include 1 and 6 also. The values between 1 and 6 and also include 1 and 6. If I want to print dice, it will print random numbers from 1 to 6. Now it is printing 3 and next it will print 6 and next it is printing 2. In this 1 and 2, I mean 1 and 6 are also included. In the same way, can you write a program on coin toss where 1 is heads and 0 is tails? I mean, it has to print 1 if the random number is heads and 0. If it is 0, it has to print tails. Can you run it again? That means
I think it's saved, so I'm trying to do this like this.
yes, you are right. And
Yeah, because if I store it, it already stored the value, so it is not toggling. That's the reason I put it
No,
oriented.
no, it will, but sometimes it will repeat the same number again and again. So it will give us same output sometimes. It will pick same random number.
Okay, so you're saying this is how this also works?
Yes, that will also work.
Okay.
And now we are going to discuss about user-defined functions. And we can create functions using def keyword followed by function name. With parentheses and colon. Then with indentation, we will write what to code. I mean, what to do if we call this function. Let's see with an example. I'm taking here as I want to greet something. A greet. I'm just printing good morning. And now if I run this function, it won't execute. It is not giving any print because when we are using function, we have to call the function. We can simply call the function with function name like greet. Then it will print the output like good morning. We can simply give function name for calling the function. In the same way, we will create many functions like hello, like this. And let's see about the uses of functions. Functions are used for reusability. That means we write the code once and we can use it multiple times. So they are reusable and modular. That means we can break the code into smaller modules or small parts and we can use them. That's why it is also readable. And then it will be easy to debug. That means if we have small programs like smaller modules, it will be very easy to debug the code rather than writing the same code again and again. And this indentation will tell us this print statement is inside particular grade definition. If I use other print inside this, it will be like 5. Then also it will execute in the same block. For example, if I am not calling greet, then it won't execute both because these both are inside the greet function. If I use print something like have a great day, this will print because this is outside the function. Whereas in here indentation in Python indentation is main, which has four spaces. See 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if we call greet, it will print all the lines, all print statements because these are inside greet and we are calling greet at last. That's why it is printing. So first it is printing have a great day, and then we are calling greet method. So it is printing after have a great day, hello and bye. If I print, if I call greet at start before print, then first it will execute hello and bye, and then it will execute have a great day. And now we are going to discuss about functions with inputs. For example, uh, in previous example, we can just greet by normally we are greeting without any parameter or anything. For example, if I want to greet with name, I can use def greet, and here I will take the parameter. I will take the variable like name. I will print hello and name. I have to use a string, and if I pass the variable to greet, it will print that one. For example, I am taking Sharon and I am passing the Sharon to the function. So it will print hello Sharon like that. If I take other name like Hema or something, it will print both the names because first we are calling this name and then we are calling this name to greet. And here this name is called parameter. I mean, when we create, when we define the variable while creating the function, it is parameter, and we are passing here some value, right? That is argument. We will pass arguments while calling the function, and we can define parameters while creating the function. In the same way, and I can pass more parameters. Like if I am taking two parameters, for example, if I am taking login, I need username and password. And I want if user is admin and password is 1234, I have to print login successful, otherwise invalid credentials. If user equal to admin and password equal to 1234, I'm just printing login successful. If not, I am printing invalid credentials. I'm just calling log login with admin. I'm just passing admin and the username as 1234. And now it will check through the function and user is admin and password is 1234. We are passing from here and it will print login successful. If I change username to something, it will print invalid credentials. In the same way, if I change the password like 14, then also it will print invalid credentials because it is just these arguments are passing to this function and stored in parameters like admin is stored in user and 1234 is storing in password. If we reverse this, or let's take other example for this, and we can also say these as positional arguments. Let's take other example. For example, if I am greeting a person with his name and city, I'm taking parameters as name and city. I'm printing hi with name and I'm printing what is the weather in your city. Like, and now I am calling this function. I'm passing Sharon with Texas and I am running it. It is printing hi Sharon, what is weather in Texas? If I change the parameter, this we can call these as positional parameters. If we change the sequence, like if I give your name after city, then it will print a different way, like hi Texas, what is weather in Sharon? This is wrong, right? That's why we can use keyword arguments. Like, let's see, we will give the parameter name equal to this name, like name is equal to Sharon and city equal to Texas. I'm running it. It is printing fine. And if I change this, for example, Now, if I change the positions of this, it won't affect the output because we are giving the name, I mean parameter name and the value for that. It will print say normally like, "Hi Sharon, what is the weather in Texas?" Even we are using it, changing the places of them. When we use positional parameters, it won't print like that. It will display other output. Here we have undo this. Oh, okay. And see, here if we interchange the places, it is changing the output. But when we are using keyword arguments, it is displaying same. Even if we are writing city first and name first, that's why we use keyword arguments. Let's take another example. Like, and we also have star star KW arcs. We'll discuss it later, but it is different from keyword arguments. They are keyword arguments as dictionary. So let's take other example. Uh, Now I am defining a function and taking as my fun, and I'm passing one A, B, C as parameters. I just want to print A and B, A, B, and C. For example, I am taking A is A. In the same way, I am printing all the variables. I'm passing parameters to my function like 1, 2, and 3. It is executing fine, but I'm just placing one in last. Then can you guess the output of this code? Sharon, what will be the output of this code?
Yeah, same way you're passing 2, 3, 1.
Yes. So what is the output? What is the value of A according to the function?
Yeah, 2 and
Yes.
then 3, then 1. Yeah,
But we don't want, I mean, we don't want like this. We just need to print 1, 2, 3, but we don't want to write like this. Then we can use keyword parameters like B equal to 2 and C equal to 3 and A equal to 1. Then can you guess the output now?
yeah.
What?
Now it will show 1, 2, 3.
Yes, you are right. It is 1, 2, 3 because we are passing keyword arguments like B is 2, C is 3, and A is 1. And can you write a program on area of rectangle? That means you have to define the function for printing the area of rectangle using given parameters. Which will be len and that L into B. Can you solve this code?
Yes.
You didn't place result in flower braces, so it is printing like normal text.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I was like,
Yes, you're right.
okay.
And we can also call this as void function because it is not returning any output. Um, For example, if I am printing like this, it will print as none. This print statement is returning none. So we can also call them as void functions. And now we are going to see the functions with returns or with output. Here I am defining a function which will return, um, let's say anything. I can take 5 and now I am calling it. It won't display anything now because we are not printing here, we are returning. So we can print like this. We can use print and we will print the output. Now it is displaying output and we can also store this in other variables and we can store this output. For example, O is equal to myfun and I'm printing O. This will also work same. Even if we return some operations like 10 plus 20, if I want to return, then it will display 30. In the same way, it will work. For And in the same way, if we want to perform concatenation of two variables, I'm taking P1 and P2 as the parameters and I'm returning P1 plus P2. Here the concatenation is done using strings, right? So here just passing string variables. Uh, Result is equal to concatenate. Which I take as concatenation function. And now I'm taking hello, comma, here. And now I'm printing the result. It is printing hello Sharon. Because the plus operator is used for concatenating the string. That's why it is concatenating hello. And here we have space. That's why it is displaying space in between. And it is printing Sharon. For example, if I take Insta and here I am placing gram, it will print Instagram. Like that, it will concatenate. And we can also use multiple returns. For example, let's take a program. Here we are, and one more thing, if we pass other return statement like this, it won't work. Mm, that's the approach. If we write anything after one return statement, it won't work. Like, uh, let's see, it is not working. It because in the first return, it will return the statement and execute the program. I mean, exit this function. And this after that we can use any or we can write any program. It won't work after one return. And if we want to use multiple returns, for example, I'm taking a new one. Here I'm writing a function which will take first name and last name and outputs them. Um, I'm taking display name and yes name, comma L name. If they are empty, I have to print. For example, if S name equal to empty, that means I am not passing anything, or L name equal to empty. I just have to print. Or so now we are talking about return functions, right? I'm just returning. And here, if they are not empty, then I have to print or return S name plus L name. Or we can also write like this. We can use F string and we can use F name and S name. Here I am following this.
L name, not S name.
Um, Display name of Lata and I am taking L name as Poganti. and storing this in result. And now I am printing this. Oh, I will and there. It is displaying Lata Koganti. For example, if I take empty string for pass, then it will print none. Because we are returning nothing, so it will return none. Or if we pass like name or last name is mandatory. Also, name and last name. Mandatory. It will print this one. Oh, type the wrong spelling, I think. And now we can also remove this else block. It will execute like same. Because if the first return statement is executed, it won't continue the program. So this return statement will not execute anyway. And if the condition is false, then it will definitely execute this return statement. Again, I am trying this and I am saving. This printing name and last name is mandatory. And if I pass some parameters like X, Y, Z, A, B, C, then it will print X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Because if this return statement, I mean, if this statement is true, it will execute this and it will directly return the statement and exit the function. But if the statement is not true, then it will definitely execute this return statement. So we don't need to use else in else here. I mean, we don't need to use any else block. In this way, we will return multiple statements. And can, can you try this program that I'm taking students' post or marks? And if the marks are greater than 35, it is pass, otherwise fail. Can you try this program? I mean, define a function by using function. Yes, you are right. We have completed functions with people and function with multiple return statements. And now we are going to see about doctrine. Here, the doctrine is used to explain. We can write doctrine in between, or let's say double quotes, and we can write some text. And this is used to define a function what it will do. Uh, before classes, we use these triple quotes as statements also, but the main thing for using this is to explain the function what it will do. For example, let's see with the I'm taking new file and I'm saving it as doc. It has to explain what is the function doing. For example, if I am using add of n1 comma n2, and here the doc string will say that what this function will do. That means this function will add two integers n1 and n2. Add two integers and return them. Return n1 comma n sorry n1 plus n2, and I'm just printing add of 10 comma 20, and now it will print 30. But what is the use of docstring? If we go to that documentation, for example, we can write many programs, and if we go to that particular project, and we just need to know which function is doing, that means in these small functions, we can directly watch and say this function is for adding. But there are some complicated functions we need to explain. That means this acts as the documentation of that particular function. And this docstring is nothing but it is like the documentation of that particular function and explains what that function will do. I'm writing other program. Yes. Uh, can we end the session here?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks for your valuable time.
Yeah, you do. Thank you.
Mm.